They need to stop, man. Seriously. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Clarified Moments, where we hope to bring a level of clarity to your consciousness, to your view, to your perspective, to your world. So I'm back. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Bear with me. I'm trying to adjust my mic here. Like I said, it's been a while, so I had to take a moment. As you guys know, for those who have tuned in the past or maybe saw some of the past videos, I take a while sometimes to go and refresh and renew and just digest and process some things and enjoy life, because this isn't my life, right? I got other things going on, but I'm grateful for my subscribers. I'm grateful for you guys tuning in, but I thought this was funny, man. Not to make light of the drug problems that we have here in America, or even throughout the world. For those of many of you that are like me that grew up in those neighborhoods that this was prevalent, you saw it with your own eyes. You may have been even participated in some of the precarious decisions that involves a lot of young black men who don't have a lot of options, or so we don't think. And so that, as well as even having family members, I had a couple of family members that struggle with this, but this was funny, man. This was funny. The Hunter Act to ban federal government of buying crack pipes. And for those of you don't know, there's a new bill that they just passed that's basically giving out smoke kits to communities that are struggling with these challenges. And it's stupidity, to say the least. But I found it ironic that he's doing that knowing his own son struggles or had struggled with this particular addiction or issue. So Republicans, out of spite, just being funny, created this bill. It's not going anywhere, by the way. It's not going to do anything. They don't have control of the Senate. So it's not going to do anything. It's just a gesture, a poke at the so-called president. But I just want to read some of this to you guys. So Republican lawmakers have introduced a bill this week banning the federal government from being able to buy crack pipes, and appear to have taken a shot, exactly, that's what I just said, at Joe Biden, Democratic President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, who was admitted that he's a crack addict, with the name of the bill given. So again, this is just a gesture. It's not going to do anything, but again, I thought it was funny, so I just wanted to bring it up. But I do want to say this. Hunter Biden, the author of I think it was the 94 crack bill, 96 crack bill that locked up a lot of young black men for, some would say, petty drug crimes. It's just weird to me to see him come and make a 360-degree turn. He said some of the most racist things in the past, and for those who don't know, you can look these things up. He's used the N-word. He called black people roaches. He promoted segregation. And I know he said a while back that, he's had a change of heart. But if we're really looking at this situation through tunnel vision, as we like to do, there's no forgiveness, there's no grace, which I don't agree with. I mean, as we freely receive grace from above, we're supposed to be freely given. But those of us that are not of the household of faith don't know that. And then some of us that claim to be of the household of faith We're not operating in it. So how can I expect grace and expect mercy and expect forgiveness, but I'm not able to give it? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of bitterness right now. There's a lot of bitterness in people's hearts. And it's been there, and it's just been the right time. This is just the right time for it to come out. Trump was in office last administration. They played on people's emotions. They labeled people certain things, and they're still doing it. And I thought it was, we in Black History Month. I thought ML King was calling everyone to judge someone by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. Now, some might argue with me about that and say, well, I see the content of your character or that person's character, and I don't like it. I believe it's A, B, C, and D. That's fair. You're entitled to your opinion or your perspective, but you're not entitled to the truth. And the truth of the matter is that we all are flawed. We all have shortcomings and imperfections. We all have biases. We all have hidden biases, if that's what you want to call it. Some of that stuff is put there for a reason. I talk about that in another video in relation to family and how these biases promote sustaining families. But with that being said, why is it that we can't forgive? It's because we're not connected to nothing, or we're not connected to the right thing. When you're connected to the right thing, you can look at someone and you can forgive them. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult, but you certainly don't bathe in unforgiveness. I believe that a lot of people are bathing in unforgiveness right now. They don't want to let go. They don't want to forgive. I thought, isn't there a scripture that talks about how God throws our sins in the sea of forgetfulness? That's a demonstration. That is an example of how we're supposed to be operating in forgiveness. It's hard to forgive and not forget. That doesn't mean that you forget it, like you just push it out the forefront of your mind. Ideally, that would be great. Because what if there's a scar associated with it, a physical scar? We know in some instances there's an emotional scar, but some people right now haven't even experienced this thing that we call racism. They think they have. They may have. They experience a microaggression and they label it racism. Maybe that person was having a mental moment. But let me get back on point. The point I'm trying to communicate is that even though in this world, we're going to face things. We're going to be challenged with people's personalities. We're going to be challenged with people's, again, imperfections and shortcomings. That doesn't give you the right to hold bitterness, hostilities, and anger and aggression towards individuals because of what? How they may look, how you may think they feel. What happened to giving people the benefit of the doubt? Now, you got certain people in power, certain politicians that are using this as leverage and playing on people's emotions to get them to vote a certain way. And we know this for a fact. Mr. Joe Biden, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You remember that? So people are using the sins, the so-called quote unquote sins of the past. I myself, I have a healthy respect and reverence for history. I understand the significance of it. And I understand that there are some things that happened that weren't cool, so to speak. But I've never experienced it. That don't mean I don't respect it. But I don't project those things of the past into my now. Because my now is not in any comparison to what my ancestors experienced. They paved the way for us to be in this position. We was the most, and we are the most diverse country in the world. How all of a sudden within 4+ years rather, we regressed? So at some point, we got to be honest with ourselves. Remember, honesty is clarity. If honesty is clarity, then what is confusion? Confusion is dishonesty. If you're not honest with yourself, first and foremost, about what you're experiencing, why you feel this way, then there's no way you're going to be able to have clarity about how to move forward. If you're not honest with your God, there's only one God, by the way, but you're not honest with God about what you're feeling and why you're feeling the way you feel, you're not going to be able to move forward. You may move forward. You may think you're moving forward, but you're really moving backwards. And I really think that that's what's happening today with a lot of people with this particular subject, with this particular situation. We're moving backwards. We're advocating segregation, safe spaces. We're advocating a certain group of people are just innate evil. Now, I understand that some people think that way. I used to think that way. But then I grew up. Then I had an opportunity to experience salvation. Then I had an opportunity to fellowship with all kinds of people and realize at the end of the day, they're just people. And it's not a color issue, it's a heart issue. And we're all subject to our flesh. We're all subject to this heart issue. Because out of the heart come the issues of life. So you ask yourself this question. It's my last point, guys. Ask yourself this question. When you encounter these situations where it pulls on certain emotions and it pulls on things that happened in the past that you might hadn't even experienced yourself. Well, let's just say for the sake of this conversation that you did experience it. How long are you going to live in that experience? There's an old proverb that says, I myself have not apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things of the past and pressing towards those things that lie ahead. You got to move forward, guys. You got to move forward. The energy of today is to be stagnant now. Stagnant in frustration, stagnant in anger, stagnant in the sins of the past. In the trials and tribulations of the past or the trials and tribulations of the day. But guess what? Tomorrow is a whole different day. And you have control of how you approach that day. I'm approaching that day with so much optimism, so much hope, and so much will in the ability for it to be in my favor. For if God be for me, who can be against me? No one. No devil. No racism. No hidden biases. No microaggressions. None of that. I put up a post a while back. It wasn't luck that got me where I'm at. It wasn't luck. I'm blessed, man. You guys be blessed too. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And comment in the comment section. How are you approaching the day? Are you dwelling in the energy of the past? And how's that working out for you? Because I suspect it's not working out well, especially if it's something that was painful. You, me, you and I, and everyone, especially when you're talking about this particular situation and how they're using these things to energize a certain type of energy. They're putting battery packs in us and having us run and operate a certain way. I'm not a robot, and I don't believe you are neither. We got to start using this, guys. It's clear conscious thought versus zombie-like thought. Zombies, we already know what they do. You guys have seen the movies. They operate in one way. But clear conscious thought is the ability to think clearly, rationally, from a place of logic and reason versus emotion. To exercise critical thinking skills and criticize your own thoughts to remove warped views and perspectives that hinder common sense. Some of this stuff we're operating in has no common sense attached to it. I'ma say it if nobody else say it. There's no common sense attached to it. And I'm out.